hip hop, I talk about comedy, I talk about politics. Those things never really mix. But today is a good day because today they have mixed. All right, Desi Banks, you see this man right there. Desi Banks has just been outed as a Mossad agent, an Atlanta-based comedian. We're gonna rewind. An Atlanta-based comedian, Desi Banks, has been exposed as an Israeli intelligence asset. I can barely talk. You hear that? This thing is crazy because apparently it's not it's not like he was doing commercials with them, right? What is happening is essentially he got paid by the Israeli military or the Israeli intelligence agency Mossad, which is like CIA, NSA type shit. He got paid by them to use his account to pay for Mossad advertisements. You know what I mean? In foreign countries. Basically showing like, it was their way to like hide. He was their extra layer. He was their buffer for their advertisements in Iran. They were using basically him to try to recruit, different secret agents in Iran who want to take down the Iranian government. And this is just crazy, man. I will say, some of you guys know that I'm a stand-up comedian, right? This right here, this whole shit that's happening is the epitome of there's levels to this shit. Trying to get booked at the Cellar. This guy's in the Mossad Comedy Festival. Shit is crazy. And the crazy thing is, a lot of people don't realize it, but Mossad has actually been trying to get people into the agency publicly for years. This video is from an Israeli TV news network, and it's actually from 8 years ago, so it's not recent at all. They've been doing it since then, at least. They've been doing a lot of Evietniage, okay, over here. But yeah, they've been going for it. So it's not really that surprising that they would funnel money into some random guy's bank account so that he could pay for Mossad Google ads.
Speaking of security, have you ever dreamed of becoming a secret agent? Well, now's your chance if you meet the criteria to join the world's most renowned intelligence agency, the Israeli Mossad.
I also just feel like I find that hilarious where it's like, oh man, I've always wanted to be a secret agent, but I've never seen the right ad. It's like, now's your time. I bet you that is probably what you have to do. If you want to become an FBI guy or something, just go on Google and, type in how to become an FBI agent and then apply. I'm sure on some level. But I've always thought, secret agent shit is, almost like a movie where it's like you have these like crazy test scores, you're insanely athletic, and then just like some guy comes from like the corner of the room when you think you're alone and they're like, hey, you got a lot of talent, and then they give you like a card or something and it just like has like 3 numbers on it, but like somehow it's a phone line and it's like the most secret. You know what I mean? We've all seen it. We've all seen it. Hey, if you ever want to make a difference, if you want to have a life of adventure, take this. Right? That's how it should be earned. All right? On some like Fast and the Furious undercover Ghost Protocol type shit. It should not be an ad in the fucking newspaper. Can you imagine the dopes that try to sign up for Mossad? Jesus Christ.
Organization once recruited new personnel in a highly clandestine manner, but now many people are surprised to open their newspapers to see public advertisements urging them to apply. You can also find the notice on the.
And just so you know, I mean, it actually doesn't surprise me about this stuff because I feel like we are seconds away from ICE doing something like this, right? Because they try to keep pushing out those videos on Twitter with like funny comedians in the background or like a song that everybody loves, right? And next thing you know, you're gonna open up your fucking Instagram, right? And you're just gonna see an ad for ICE. I bet you conservative people get ads for ICE all the time. I just don't because I'm a leftist liberal cuck, But life goes on.
Mossad's official website. While the campaign is open for male candidates, this is the first time there are specific appeals being issued to women. The agency says it's searching for female agents who possess strength and exceptional character. The text also reads, "We don't care what you've done, we care about who you are."
Yeah, that's it's quite possibly the worst sentence you could ever say to somebody who's supposed to be conducting geopolitics. We don't care what you've done. Hey, buddy, am I hearing a little bit of Abu Ghraib? What? What? Huh? It's fine, man. We've all done things. You've done things. So you've done things. We've all done things. All we care about is if you're willing to do more, buddy. Get in here. Girl power. Girl, child. If you don't stop caring about how you shocked that Arab man's balls in Fallujah, then I don't know what to do with you. You're here. Safe space. You're forgiven, baby. Jesus forgives. I'm a Jew. I don't believe in the good Lord Jesus Christ in the way you do, but he was a good looking man. Beautiful hair. Smart boy. Come in. Get in here. You know the Israeli intelligence agency is struggling when they're putting ads out there, man. You know? Because I just feel like that's weird. Like, CIA, all that stuff, it would be weird if they were doing that type of shit too, right? But I think what makes it so weird is that Israel is an ethno state, but you're like advertising. So you're advertising to be an agent in the ethno state uh, of an ethno that you're not in. That ethno is not your state, right? So it's a little strange. It's a little strange. I feel like, you know, I want to meet like the Hindu division of Mossad, right? Just a bunch of fucking guys ready to go for it because they're gonna get reincarnated. Like fucking Iran, fucking send me in, Pop. I'm ready to come back like a cricket. I'm gonna be a fucking beetle this time, and I'm still gonna be working for you boys. You got me for 5 lives. I wonder if that happens. If like there's anybody like Hindu or any of that shit, Hare Krishna, all that stuff, right? Buddhist, and they're just like they sign them in a contract, and they're like, just to be clear, all right, we know your deal, we know you guys and what you do, right? We're gonna sign you on for 5 lives. You think you're gonna just get a bag, run into a building, explode, and live your life as a bullfrog somewhere in the Amazon rainforest? Not today, buddy. Not today. You better hop your ass back into headquarters. All right? Fucking nuts, man. Mossad ads funded by a comedian. Lord help us all. Desi Banks, he has about 9 million followers. And you know what? There's been a lot of barbershop talks about show business and what happens behind the scenes and the Diddy parties and the Nori door and, you know, the secret agendas and blah, 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 right? But it looks like some of this stuff is true, all right? 10 years ago, if you would have told me that there was a comedian working as a secret agent or a secret agent asset of Israel, and it's a random ass nigga from Atlanta, I would be laughing in your face. But this is the world we live in, where every single news story sounds like a National Enquirer article, right? And I think this is the Epstein effect. Realistically, I think once that happened, it made everything real, right? The Epstein effect plus the rise of AI, you can't tell what's real and what's not, right? 10, 15 years ago, if somebody would have said, hey man, there's an island of elite people and they deal with young girls in very explicit and awful ways, right? I'd be like, maybe, but you're bugging. Then that shit happened, and now I don't know what to believe. Since the Epstein shit came out, I'm like, fuck it. Maybe Tupac and Elvis are alive. Now you have this shit happening with Desi Banks. And the fact that, you know, he is involved in something like this, he's involved in geopolitics at this level, because we're talking Israel. That's the tippy tip top of geopolitics. All right, let's be honest. Israel practically owns the US nowadays. Okay? So the fact that he is playing in the big leagues with these boys and he's just a random dude, is it's just a crazy thing. And you know what's even crazier is this isn't really the last time or the first time that we've heard about this type of stuff. For years, there have been repeated rumors about a lot of right wing people, right wing hosts like Joe Rogan, Tim Dillon, Tim Pool, Ben Shapiro, right? That they're actually being paid by the Russian government, and by Israel or by just foreign governments in general to protect their interests and basically get the conservative, fascist, fanatical part of America on their wavelength, essentially. So paying for not ad spots, but literal talking points on these shows. And now it seems to have bled over into this, man. And I think what's so crazy about it is that someone like Tim Dillon, or Tim Pool or any of those guys, they're already a little bit radical in a sense, whether you like him or not, they are. But this dude is not at all. He is a guy who has been doing bullshit TikToks for years and blew up off of bullshit TikToks. He doesn't talk about politics, which I guess makes him the perfect asset to use to funnel money through. But really, really insane. I mean, the guy who has sketches like when you go to yoga with a white girl for the first time is handling Mossad recruitment assets and material. This is insane, man. And how deep and pervasive all this stuff has gone, And what's crazy too is, like I said, this guy, he's his own thing. I'm not surprised. I don't think he's the only one is as far as the secular side of comedy and show business goes. I would not be surprised if you have other people on his level, people who aren't necessarily famous in the classic sense, people who aren't Will Smith, people who aren't Seth Rogen, right? Guys like this guy, guys like, I don't even want to say names, but the guys like Kev on Stage, right? Ricky Smiley, right? Niggas who are like known, but like not that known. Like they're known with their people, but they're not known. That's the perfect guy to get. A guy, because the type of dude who has 9 million followers and does stand-up comedy, he's racking in dough. Even if he's not the biggest guy in the world, he has 9 million followers on Instagram. He has all those videos. He's probably making money off of YouTube videos and stuff just as much, trying to do the same stuff that I'm doing and everything and touring. So he's making a lot of money. So they can funnel the money through his accounts and it's not going to look crazy, right? It was only because somebody started rooting around and fishing around, into who necessarily was paying him that they started finding all this stuff out. And, this is, like I said, it's not the first time. It's just crazy that it's gotten so blatant at this point. And it almost reminds me of that Simpsons episode.
Yvonne and Miage, they keep saying that. Wait, what was that? Uncle Sam? Let me play this backwards.
Join the Navy.
I remember when I was a kid, I found that so creepy. That's how they get people, man. It's like you don't even know what you're doing. It's a bit of a pipeline, right? So I'll start there, right? It's a bit of a pipeline. And this is what kind of happens is you have guys like this, right? You have guys that are more sanitized creators who aren't strictly political. Someone like Asmongold, right? He's become more political over time, but wasn't hugely political for a long time. So you have people like that who bring you in, right? You watch a couple funny videos. All of a sudden, there's a random Mossad ad, right, on your timeline, right? And then all of a sudden, you're watching a little bit of Asmongold. They're talking about how the ICE thing with Renee Good is complicated, and you're like, huh, maybe it is. Maybe it is a little complicated, right? Then all these analytics, right, whether it's Meta or just your phone, trying to do what your phone does, that may not necessarily have a political leaning to it, but its job with this phone is to keep you on here. So it records you and hears words that you use, right? And it's going to use that to show advertisings and stuff of stuff you have interest in. So maybe you've been, complaining about immigrants or something, right? And you're not happy about it. And you're not like a complete immigrant racist, but it's been a hard time. The neighborhood's changing. It's, people are outside that are scary that might rob you. And you've just been talking to your friends about this stuff. Your phone's heard it. And now when you go on YouTube, it's giving you people like Candace Owens. It's giving you people like Nick Fuentes. It's giving you people like Sneeko, right? And you fall deeper and deeper into this stuff until it just seems normal. And you're like, no, this is just how people talk. This is just how people are, man. We just love the fact that families get ripped out of their own cars, even if they're U.S. citizens, get detained for no reason by guys that are masked and don't identify themselves. We love that. Dude, it's funny. It's cool. That's how it starts. It starts with guys like this, and it ends with dudes like Nick Fuentes. And realistically, it can go even farther with that, as we've seen plenty of stories of, mass violence, let's just say that, in public displays, right? So it really is nuts to see. But I feel like I'm also kind of happy that so much of the population does seem to be reckoning with the things that I'm talking about and starting to really smarten up and understand the price that you have to pay for these words and this rhetoric being spread around, right? Before Trump's second term, we had a lot of different things where podcasts like Fresh and Fit were saying certain things, and this podcast was talking crazy, and that podcast is talking crazy, and Trump needs to be back in office. The world's in chaos, financial problems with the country, right? We're doing all this stuff, right? And everybody's saying all these crazy things. Get these people out, do this, do that, send this person to jail, get them out, right? This mob mentality. And it felt good because it was a little bit of a childish purge of emotion, right? But now the consequences of that are here. And what felt good now brings a sickness to your stomach because you're seeing the reality of it, right? It's funny to hear Andrew Schultz make a couple jokes about immigrants or something while Akash laughs and then cries thinking about his wife who's been cuckolding him, right? It's funny for all that. But then when you remember that your friend is actually Filipino and his mom and dad came here only like 10 years ago, he was born in the Philippines, and they just got ripped out of their car or randomly stopped on the street. And even though they're citizens, they were made to feel like they were less than human. You start regretting all these things and you start really thinking about the shit that you're consuming, And I think that's what's led to a lot of these guys, especially in the future, becoming so much worse off